there. I hope everyone can hear me clearly. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our pre-match press conference ahead of tomorrow's game against Kerala Blasters. Today's press conference will be addressed by the head coach, Des Buckingham. The process is the same as always. Please put your names in the chat box. And once I take your name, you can ask a question. Riddhiman.
Yes, good afternoon, coach. This is Riddhiman from KL now. So to start off, may we have some insight into how the team is looking ahead of tomorrow's fixture? Is there any probability of any notable absentees from the squad?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Bubar, I can't believe you've missed out on the first question for the first time this season. But in terms of our squad and our selection, no, we're all back and good to go. Rahul, I'm sure, is the question that's coming next. Rahul trained with the squad yesterday, and Rahul will join the training group today, and we'll give him the best chance to be right for tomorrow. And we'll assess that on the game day. But otherwise, everyone is good to go. I'm really looking forward to the game.
All right, thank you for that, coach. So just another follow-up question. Kerala Blasters had a few shaky games, but then they bounced back with a 3-0 win in their last outing. So seeing how Mumbai also registered an all-round performance against Goa, how are you looking to approach tomorrow's match?
I think we just keep concentrating on ourselves. I said I'm not too interested in the other results and how other teams play. It's more important that we look at ourselves and make sure that we continue our run of form. You know, we started the season extremely well, and I spoke about finishing the season as well as we can. And you know, we come into this game with 4 wins out of the last 5. We've kept 2 consecutive clean sheets, and we've started to show some real good signs of how we want to play with and without the ball. So the focus will be on us. We must really make sure that we continue the same approach that we've had that started the season well, and that has put us in a strong position to finish the season.
Thank you for that, coach. All the best for your next match.
Thanks, Riddhiman. Apurva.
Yes, good afternoon, coach. Sorry for being late, but my question is that it will be like a virtual quarterfinal. Do you agree to that to this point? And how do you see the confidence of the defenders after 2 back-to-back clean sheets?
Yeah, I can understand why people will look at it like that. It's not an approach that we're taking. We've spoken all season about being consistent in how we approach every game, and that's something that has put us in the position that we're in, which is a good one going into the final 2 games. So it's important that we don't change anything in terms of how we approach this game, and we certainly haven't done in terms of on the field or off of it. We just must focus on making sure that we play the way that we want, and we play as well as we can. So what was the second part? Sorry, Puba.
Means how much confident are you after 2 back-to-back clean sheets? That's been long.
Yeah, I think the last few games, you know, if you take the last 5 games in particular, with the exception of 4-1, you know, it was an area during that 7-game spell where we conceded quite a few. So in the last 5 games, you know, it's been very pleasing to see how well the back line, and it's not just the back line and the goalkeeper, it's the work rate and the understanding of the whole team to sort that side of the game out. It's important that tomorrow we continue to do that, whilst also going back to making sure we play the type of football we want with the ball, and some exciting football to watch from the sidelines.
Thank you, coach. Just another follow-up. Since the Kerala Blasters match, we see that so many opponent players just isolate number 6, means in case of Apuya or anyone. So since then, the team is not quite good looking, or I can say that not at their best. So do you think that the team can take a more gear in the next coming matches?
Sorry, was that our team's not at its best, or the other team are not at its best?
Your team, means Mumbai City FC.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously missed a couple of players this season in that role. You know, we're losing Roland Borges early in the season. He's a fantastic player for us, and that was shown last year. So to lose Roland was a big loss, and of course then to lose Rahul against Jamshedpur was also another loss. And they're 2 very important players in 2 very important positions that are key to kind of what we do. What's been pleasing is how proactive we were as a club in the January window to bring players like Vineet Rai in to help support us and continue making sure that we can play. And what's been good is that, especially in the last two games, we've played without Jessel. And not only have we played without him, but the players that have come in have performed. And we've come away with 2 wins. So we've shown that we can play without him, as well as Rawlin. Now, I'd love to have both of those players available for all of our games this year. But the thing I am happy with was the performance of Apoya, whether he plays as 1-6 or alongside somebody. And then those that have come in to support us as a team. And that's been the big thing that's got us to where we are.
Thank you, coach. All the best wishes for the next match.
Thank you.
Thank you. Soham?
Yeah, hi coach, this is Soham from IFTWC. So Mumbai were tactically outclassed by Kerala the last time the sides met. So will we see a different approach from Mumbai tomorrow? And is there an added sense of conscious pressure in the camp about this game?
No, I think if you go back to the Kerala game, I think it's a tactically outclassed. I think it was again, they scored early, and then they hit a second just after half time, and it kind of 2-0 straight after half time, and then we lost Matada Fall, and then there was a penalty given, so we were 3-0 down. We had a player sent off on the 55th minute, so it went to 3-0 and it stayed at 3-0. So I felt that was a little bit of a false indication, of the rest of the game. We need to make sure, of course, we keep 11 players on the field. And that was a long time ago. It'll be a totally different game. We've obviously developed what we want, and players are a lot clearer on kind of what we want with and without the ball now. So the last game for me is irrelevant. It's important that we just make sure we continue on the road that we've certainly shown over the last 5 or 6 games, that we stick to that. It'll be a very good game.
Thanks, and best of luck for the game, coach.
Thank you. Azhar from Republic, do you want to ask a question, Azhar?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hi, coach. So how do you assess your opponent's Kerala Blasters? What do you think is that one area you need to be at your best at? Given this is a game where, the opponents are going to go all out, obviously, because they need to secure a win to, remain in the competition.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching Kerala all season, for the exception of the last game that we played against them. Enjoyed watching them. They've got a fantastic coach who's coached them extremely well all season. They've got some very good players that we're aware of. But we must make, like I said, we have our own way of doing things. We have our own playing style. We have good players ourselves, and it's an exciting game, regardless of the context of 2 games to go and the build up to this game. I know people are looking at. I'm really looking forward to it, because I think what you have is 2 very good teams, and 2 teams that will go out to win the game, and 2 teams that will try and play exciting football. And that's the one thing I'm really looking forward to. So it's important from my side that I try and prepare our team as best as we can. And that's something that, we've spent time working on over the past couple of weeks, and certainly what we've done the last couple of days in between the last game and this.
Thanks, Azhar. Shayantan?
Hello, coach. This is Shantan from Sportskira. So I wanted to ask you that, because this is a virtual eliminator, do you think both teams will be very conscious in how they approach the game, and this could turn into a tight affair?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know there's a lot riding, or people are putting a lot on this game. There's still a game afterwards. They play Goa and we play Hyderabad. So the season isn't done tomorrow, although it can be. But for us, it can be. So again, we won't approach this game any different than we have the last 17 or the last 18 games. It's very much just look at this one and make sure that we approach it in the same manner we have. And make sure we stick to our game plan. And if we do that, we've shown in the last certainly 4 or 5 weeks, and the last 4 or 5 results especially, that regardless of the teams we come up against and the challenges that we face, that we're capable of coming away with results. And that's important for tomorrow for us.
Coach, I had another question. So Diego Mauricio has been firing all cylinders in the past few games, and Igor Angulo, although we know about his quality for sure, but hasn't been at the finest of forms. So do you think there's a possibility of Mauricio starting ahead of Angulo in the upcoming matches? And, do you think this is a healthy competition to have also that enhances your attacking line?
I think Igor's our leading goal scorer, and he's a large reason as to why we are in the position we're in, with these finishes that he's had all season and the assists that he's provided for us. So although he's not overly involved massively throughout the 90 minutes, when he does turn up inside the box, it doesn't take him much to score, and we've seen that especially in the most recent games. So, I'm very happy with the way that Igor's been playing and what he contributes to our team in that space. And then the reason we brought Diego in was to add some firepower to that front line. We brought Chante in to complement Vikram and Bipin on the wings with their pace and their skill. And we felt we needed someone else through the middle as well to help Igor or to complement Igor. And Diego's come in. He hadn't played since the 29th of December, so it's taken us some time and taken him some time to get himself up to speed. And we feel that he's pretty much there now, and he feels that as well with the trainings and the game time that he's had over the past couple of weeks. So it is always good, healthy competition, and I can only refer back to the wings that we have, with Bipin, Jante, and Bikram. It's always nice to have competition because it drives performance, or it should drive performance if it's done in the right way. And really looking forward to, we see that the other day. If Igor isn't scoring, we know we can replace Igor as we did the other night, and Diego comes on and Diego scores, similar to when we had Katatel here. So whether they play one or play the other, or whether there's an opportunity to play them together at times, as we did a couple of weeks ago, it just gives us different ways of playing. So it's an exciting one. It's just making sure we get the selection right for the next game.
Thank you, coach, and all the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shayantan. Just a reminder to everyone, if you have a question, you can put your names in the chat box. Ridhiman.
Yeah. So, coach, I just wanted to ask you something about Mehtab. So he has been a revelation in the Mumbai City defense ever since he broke through to the starting 11. How would you exactly evaluate his performance and contribution to the team so far?
I think he's a wonderful example of a young Indian player who has been very patient over the past 3 or 4 years, and certainly since the time that I got here, who has worked extremely hard to position himself very well, that when his opportunity came, that he was able to take it. And what I've been really pleased with, even since, before he got his chance to start, is the way, how keen he was to, and is still, to continue developing his game, how eager he is to learn, and how quickly he can take that information on and show it on the field. He's got some good natural ability. I think he's a wonderful defender. And having somebody like Matada fall alongside you will only help enhance his game. There's obviously areas to his game that we want and need to continue developing and working on as a young 23-year-old. But he's been an excellent example for young Indian players that if you work hard, you will get your opportunity. And if you've done what he has certainly done, that not only will you get your opportunity, but when you get it, you'll come in. If you perform, you stay in. And that's been the reason that he stayed at centre-back, is because of his consistent performances in that space. And I'm very pleased for him. But it's important now that he continues to do that, because there are other players in the squad that are hungry to get their positions back.
All right. Thank you for that, coach. All the best for your next match.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ridhiman. Anuj Mishra, can you just introduce your organization once and ask a question?
Hi, coach. Anuj Mishra, this side from ANI. My question is, when there is a situation that a team needs to win their upcoming games to be in the tournament, what goes through your mind, or what are the tactical thoughts that you keep on thinking ahead of the match?
Yeah, I think let's go back to the first couple of questions I answered. You can overcomplicate these things. You can build them up to something they're not. And I've spoken all season about us being consistent, regardless of the result on the external board, whether it's a win or a loss, not getting carried away with those. And the one thing that, we started the season very well. We went through a bit of a blip through the middle where we weren't picking up wins. We were picking draws up and not wins. And then we come out the back of that and we're now picking wins up and performances. And that's been largely down to the consistency of how we've worked, not just as a staff group, but also the behaviours of the players and how we've operated. We've been very consistent in how we've gone about our business on and off of the field. And I think if you stay consistent to your principles and you stay consistent to your beliefs and your behaviours, that's something, especially in a bio bubble, that has been very important to us to get us back on track and put us where we are. So it'll be the same as this game. There'll be no further overthinking. There'll be no mass changes. There'll be no huge differences in how we go about what we do. It's just important that we get the team selection right and the team perform and play the way that we all know we can.
Thank you, coach. All the best for your next game.
Thank you. Guys, if there's any further questions, you can put your names in the chat box. Give it a few seconds. If there are no further questions, we can call time on the press conference. Apurva, yes, go on.
Yes, coach, just last one. The performance of two wingers, basically Vipin and also Changte, have improved quite well in the last few matches. So how much important role they play to the success of Igor, basically their runs and also off the ball works? How do you see their performance improving so far?
Yeah, in terms of, I continue to talk about a style of play and how we want to play our football. We have player profiles here at the club, and the player profiles for those positions, you know, on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Those two players that you've mentioned, they fit those player profiles extremely well. You know, quick, skillful, intelligent, and they create opportunities and chances both for themselves and for others in the final third. You know, and then we've got the luxury also of Vikram, who for me is a wonderful young player at 19 years old, who has, when he's had his opportunities, he's come on and impacted the game, and he really complements the other two, or complements as a team, and gives us a different way of going. So to have those three players in those two positions out wide, they fit the style of football that we want. They fit the player profiles that we're looking for at this club. And as a result of that, they do create opportunities for others, whether it's Igor or it was Katatawa earlier in the season, and now it's Diego. So they've been a large reason as to how we go about attacking. And if we can't go through them, we know we've got other players through the middle in the likes of Cássio, Bradinman, and Igor can go through central areas as well. So it's I'm very happy with those two and the others I've just mentioned as well.
Thank you, coach. Best wishes.
Thank you,
Thank
Apurva.
you, Pooja.
If there's no further questions, we'll call it an end to this press conference. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Thank you so much, coach. We'll see you in 3 days' time ahead of our next game against Hyderabad.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Thank you, coach.
Thank you, coach.
Thank you, everyone.